Shinedown, sono a Milano. Hi, welcome with us.
Hi, how are you?
So, what are you expecting from tonight? There are some fans outside the venue.
I know, they're everywhere. You should look down. It's a lot of people. You know, we've come to find that on Facebook and Twitter and all these social media websites that we have a lot of fans in Italy that are really waiting to see us play. So last time we were here was, I think, 2008, 2009, something like that. So it's been a long time, and we can't wait to play.
So, do you think that you have got more fans now that your record has came out, and so the single has been on every rotation, or you had a very effective fans before?
We have the best fans in the world, and I'm not just saying that. I'm not just. It's not fake. We really believe that. Of course, since we've been back in Europe this trip, we've noticed that so many people know the new songs off of the new album, which is very gratifying to us, because we worked a year and a half on a record and we hadn't toured or anything. So to all of a sudden get over here and see all these fans singing our new songs, you know, singing Bully, singing Unity, singing Amaryllis, songs off of the new record. It's great to hear, and it's extremely gratifying. But prior to that, though, we still had amazing fans off of The Sound of Madness that we had gained off of that record as well.
Are you personally into the social life? So have you got Twitter, Facebook, and so to get in contact with fans?
We're pretty heavy on those things. We use Facebook and Twitter. We use Twitter a lot. All of us do. It kind of comes and goes. I use it more sometimes than others. I'll have 2 months where I use it a lot, and then 1 month where I don't use it very much.
It happens.
kind of up and down. But yeah, we use it a good bit, and we find that it's a really good way to keep in touch with our fans and keep the pulse. You know, find out what the fans are thinking. Find out what they want to hear. What songs do you want to hear on this tour? You know, it's really great that you can do that now with your favorite bands. You know, when I was younger, you didn't really know that much about your favorite bands, and now, like I said, we can go on Twitter and go, what songs do you want to hear, and they'll tell us. So that's fun. That's good. We really enjoy that a lot.
So for my experience, I'm very disappointed when an artist that I like doesn't have Twitter or Facebook, because I want to know.
Right,
you know what I mean?
And it could be a bad thing too, though, because you know some of the mystery is gone. You know, it used to be I didn't know everything about Robert Plant, or I didn't know everything about the guys in Motley Crue when I was young. You know, and so you know, I think that maybe if Robert Plant had a Twitter, it wouldn't have been the same thing. You know, he'd be like, this is Robert Plant, and I'm eating a salad, and then I'm going to go take a shit. It wouldn't be the same, right? You know, sometimes you don't want to know all those things. But it's a good thing. We think it's a good thing. We think it's great to be able to connect with the fans. We do a lot of contests, be it over Twitter and over Facebook. We just gave away 4 iPads to different fans, and it gives us a way to reach our fans. We're very close to our fans, so it's a good avenue for us to use.
So talking about the stuff, you made a book, an electronic book for to put on the iPod. Right. So can you tell me something more about it?
We're the first band to try this. We're the first band to make an iBook about the making of our record and a little bit about the history of the band. I think it's a 75-page book. With pictures and you know, different stories about the making of the record, and then at the end of the book, we go through and give the meaning behind each song in video form. You can watch an interview with Brent about the subject matter of the songs. For us, it goes back to living in a digital age, where when I was a kid and I was younger, I would camp outside of a record store and wait on the record to come out, and then when this, you know, I think just say. Motley Crue Dr. Feelgood came out, you know, and I had the vinyl, and I bought the vinyl, and I had the tape. I bought both of them, and I had all this artwork, and I could open it up, and it was physical. It was something I could hold and look at and read and see all these pictures, and it made the album more personal to me. But now with iTunes, all you have to do is just download the record, and it's instantaneously there. You don't have to wait on anything. You can get artwork with it, but it's not the same. And so we wanted to do something where, along with this record, you got something that you could, you know, albeit on an iPad, you can look at it, read it, get in depth with the band and really find out what it took to make this record. It was a year and a half of extremely exciting things. It was a year and a half of extremely emotional things and a lot of sadness that goes along with it. I say sadness, not really sadness, but just stress and fighting and arguing, and we all love each other. But you get to see those things, and if we hadn't done that, you wouldn't have that insight into what it took to make Amaryllis.
So it is an important record for you. You worked with Rob Cavallo that made also the worked also with the Green Day and such other bands. Yeah. So how's been working with a personality like him?
He's really he's like a kid genius, I guess you could say. He's not a kid. He's a very much a mature man, but he's very ADD. He's kind of all over the place, but he's just always full of ideas and always full of creativity and has extreme focus on the song. Everything's about the song, and it's not about and in that each song being very important, and then at the same time he holds this vision of the entire record when it's done, and keeping everything cohesive and keeping everything put together. He actually listens with his eyes closed when he's listening to music. He'll just kind of be sitting back like this and just listening and listening and listening, and then all of a sudden he opens his eyes and goes, wait a minute, I got an idea. And he'll grab a guitar and he'll sit there for 30 minutes of just madness, just mad scientist, and turning knobs and into these amplifiers over here. And it's really exciting. And me being a producer as well, watching somebody like that work, you start picking up things, you learn things you wouldn't otherwise get to. So I started this out by saying he was ADD, but he's extremely focused on the task. I think every great artist, whether you're a producer or a musician or whatever, you're still an artist, has a bit of insanity, and so he's definitely got that. So it's a very good quality to have in a producer, I think.
So it's very hard to explain, maybe, working as a producer. Yeah. How can you explain the right tone in the music that you are listening that maybe is going to change? It's hard work, as you can explain it. Yeah, it's very hard for me to talk about music, and I can't imagine.
Yeah, well, it's like you have to have a vision. You have to know. You have to have a vision. You have to be able to sort of see in your mind's eye what the song is going to be when it's done. All of that being said, you have to let the song become what it's going to be as well. And when you're done with a song and you look back at where it started, it's never exactly what you thought it was going to be when it's done. Sometimes the songs that you thought were going to be these great, amazing songs end up not being so good. Or you've got a song that was okay, but when you're done with it, it's the biggest song ever. So. It's a really fun process. It's a lot of making a record is a process of personal discovery and of discovery as a band about each other, and about the songs and discovering what each song is going to be and how it's going to fit into the record. We recorded 17 songs for the record. We wrote 34, recorded 17, and only 12 of them are on the record. And there's a reason why. Each one, sort of stands up and goes, I'm going to be on the record, and the other one says I'm going to be on the record, and you realize which ones go together and which ones don't, and the ones that get left off are the ones that didn't belong. So it's a fun process.
Did you feel the challenge of making this record? I can imagine that every record for an artist is a sort of challenge, but a record like this, so maybe it's been harder.
People ask what's it like going into this record after The Sound of Madness and the success that we had with that, and was it difficult? And I always say that when we first started the writing process for this record, this new record, there was this huge towering shadow of the Sound of Madness sort of hanging over me and hanging over us as we're starting to write. But then once you write a couple of songs and you get into it and you realize the songs are good, and you kind of realize you're going to be okay. There's always apprehension, and I'm always scared to death as an artist and as a writer. I want everything to be really good. So, but once you get a couple under your belt and you realize that everything is going to be okay, that big shadow, that big towering record starts to fade away into the background, and it becomes less about beating and outdoing this other record, and more about making what would be Amaryllis the best possible record it can be. And so 2 months into the writing process, we didn't even think about The Sound of Madness anymore. So, but yeah, there's always pressure. You want it to be good. We're a band that evolves. We're a band that pushes forward and tries to outdo ourselves around every turn, whether it's live or on a record or in anything we do on our personal instruments. We always want to be improving and getting better, but not compromising the songs. So it's just our attitude. It's just the way we are. So we're always going to be like that. It doesn't matter what. We're never going to go make a record and just say, oh, we'll just do the same thing we did on the last one. It's always going to be, what haven't we done yet? What have we not done sonically? What have we not talked about subject matter wise? Move forward. Don't look backwards.
So, okay, and good luck for the concert of tonight. Do you know that in Milan there is also a Megadeth concert?
Oh, is there tonight? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Dave Mustaine. He was on the airplane with Brent coming from L.A. over to Germany, I think. So yeah, man. Good. I know Dave Ellison really well. He's a good friend. So they're good people, man. I hope they have a good concert too. I love that. But I hope all the people come see us.
Yeah. You're right.
How about that?